Hello, Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan, once more with you from your very own channel Astro Assurance. When we look at horoscopes and when we look at the Navmansh, we also want to know whether the Navmansh is compatible with our Lagna in the D1 chart, and is it a profitable ascendant, which is the ascendant of the Navmansh or the Navamsa chart or the D9 chart. How do we know which ascendant in the Navamsa is a better one for us, more profitable one for us, more success oriented one for us? Now, while we will talk about which ascendant you are born in the Navmansh, because of which, what are the generic areas which may come up in your life, because the ascendants are very generic. If you are born in Scorpio Navamsa, or your Navmansh or your D9 is Scorpio, then 8 out of 100 people in the world will have the same ascendant. Will all their lives be same? No. At a generic level, there will be some meaning to what it means to be born in a certain ascendant in the Navmansh. However, the deeper meaning will come only in relationship to the ascendant of the D1 chart. Now, what does that mean? It means what is the relationship of the Navmansh ascendant to the ascendant of the D1, and from that you will be able to, or you should be able to figure out whether the Navmansh ascendant, which is at a finer dissemination of the zodiac of the horoscope, is it telling you that you have an opportunity, or the zodiac has given you an opportunity of greater success, and it is up to you whether you will utilize that opportunity to manifest it or not. So, how do we know whether a Navmansh is profitable or not? Now, in the Lagna chart, what are the so-called profitable placements? The placements of the Kendras are obviously profitable placements, but the trine houses are also supposed to be very strong. So, for example, the second house to the Lagna, we say, is a house of earning, livelihood, savings. The fourth house, we say, is a house of assets, for example. The fifth house is a house of power, influence, gains, investments, education also. The seventh house is the house of partnerships, building partnerships in a business, doing business in partnerships and doing well, your relationship with the team, your relationship with who you get connected on a day-to-day basis. The ninth house is also the house of luck, fate, gurus, dealing with people across cultures, going abroad, traveling worldwide. 11th house is supposed to be the house of gains, big gains, but the Dusthanas are supposed to be slightly tricky. There may be good things also about the Dusthanas, but the Dusthanas will also throw up some challenges as well. On the other hand, the third house is a house of effort, self-enterprise also. It's the mixed bag, the third house. That's why I made a video on how the third house can be a key to your destiny, because it could either make you or mar you, because the third house is the house of superlative effort, huge effort that you need to do. Any placements of the Lagna Lord, the 10th Lord, the 11th Lord going there means you will have to put in the huge effort to get success, but your success is commensurate to how much effort you put in and how much key communication skills you develop, because the third house is also the house of communication. So that's how the generic placements in the D1 chart are seen of the 12 houses. Now, when we look at the Navmansh, Navmansh will also have different ascendants. Then what is the relationship between the Lagna and the Navmansh? You need to see what is the number of places or houses the Navmansh ascendant is away from the D1 ascendant. Say for example, if the Lagna or the D1 Lagna is Aries and the Navmansh is of Leo, the fifth house, then how many places away from the D1 chart Lagna is the D9 chart? 5 houses away. Now, what is the fifth house the house of? The fifth house is the house of power, influence, what you like to do, what you love to do, investments, gains. So, the relationship that the Navmansh ascendant is establishing with the D1 chart Lagna is that it is giving you an opportunity to get more gains out of the fifth house disseminations. On the other hand, say your Lagna in the D1 is the third sign, which is of Gemini, and the Lagna in the D9 chart is that of Sagittarius, the ninth sign. Now, from your Lagna in the D1 chart, the third sign, to the ninth sign, the Lagna of the Navmansh. How many places away is the ninth sign from the third sign? So if you count the houses, it is 7 houses away. What does 7 houses away mean? 7 houses away mean it is giving you an opportunity or a promise or an assurance that if you use it well, you can establish strong relationships, strong partnerships, and you can also do well in any entity or any enterprise, even business, or even working in a corporate where teamwork is important, where partnerships are important, and it is also giving you a bigger chance of successful relationship also, even in your marital life. Now, more deeper dissemination also have to be seen. This is at the level 1. Level 2, and I have said this in many videos, the 11th house, the 11th sign Aquarius and Rahu are critical to success in your life. If there is no connection of this either to the Lagna or the Navmansh, then the promise of success or big success or great success or huge success is substantially reduced. So I want to jump into some of the horoscopes of people who have been very successful, not just fairly successful, very successful, and many of us would want to be in their shoes, and how the Navmansh placement from the Lagna has given them impetus in a placement because of the number of houses it is away from the Lagna chart, and in that direction they have also done very well, and they have also got success. So the number of places your Navmansh is away from your Lagna chart, the same number of places you need to see within the Navmansh house. So if you have a Gemini ascendant in the Lagna chart and you have a Sagittarius ascendant in the Navmansh chart, which means that 7 houses away is your Lagna of the Navmansh from their D1 chart. Then see 7 houses away in the D9 chart. What is the 7th house in your D9 chart? The sign of Gemini. Then see the placement of where Mercury is placed, the ruler of the 7th house. That will tell you which direction your career should move and which direction you have a greater promise of success. And then see if it's establishing a connection with the 11th house or the 11th sign Aquarius or with Rahu. If it is doing that and it is placed in good conjunctions, good yogas, and it's not under the influence of malefics, then there is a greater chance of success, huge success, superlative success. But it will be up to you whether you will manifest the assurance of the promise that the Navmansh gives you or not. So let's jump into 4-5 horoscopes one after the other in quick succession, so that we see whether these horoscopes are showing or reflecting the points that I've just raised for superlative success. Now this is the horoscope of Bill Gates, and he needs no introduction. He was the one who started Microsoft, and he is one of the richest people in the world, and he has remained rich for almost 3 decades, and even now he ranks among the top 5 richest people in the world and one of the most successful entrepreneurs ever. And he in fact can be attributed to be the single biggest change bringer in the way the world works, the world has progressed. Now in his horoscope, what is the Lagna? The Lagna is that of Gemini ruled by Mercury. What is the Lagna in the Navmansh? The Lagna in the Navmansh is of Aries. Now how many signs or houses away is Aries? Go back and see in his Lagna chart how many houses is Aries away from his ascendant. Aries is 11 houses away. This itself gives him a chance of huge success at a societal level, because 11th house is the house of societal level success. If you see some of my earlier videos which I have made where I have discussed Bill Gates horoscope, I have also brought in the 11th house perspective and the Aquarius perspective in the success that he has. And where is the 11th lord in his Lagna chart's place? His 11th lord Mars is placed with his Lagna lord in an exaltation sign. So this gives also promise of huge success from the Lagna chart itself. Now let's look at his Navmansh chart. Because his Navmansh Lagna is 11 houses away from the Lagna chart, let's look at his 11th house in his Navmansh chart. His 11th house in his Navmansh chart is ruled by the sign of Aquarius and also has a Rahu placed in it. And where is his 11th lord? 11th lord is placed in the 3rd house with Venus and Mars. Venus is the Karaka of IT and computers, especially the softer aspects of computers or the software, and in the third house of self-enterprise. So he's a self-made man. He started his Microsoft endeavor from a garage. He has got superlative success in that endeavor. Secondly, Saturn is placed 5 houses away from its sign, 11th sign, also under the aspect of 5th aspect of Rahu, and hence his career is related to software and the 11th house and Aquarius as well as Rahu, and he got superlative success in that. Let's go to another chart. This is the chart of Angelina Jolie. Her Lagna is that of Cancer, ruled by Moon, and Moon is placed in the 9th house with Mars and Jupiter, and Mars rules the 5th house where Rahu is placed, the sign of or the house of mass media, entertainment, and that of actors. And her 11th Lord Venus is placed in the Lagna itself, which gives her huge success and also makes her very beautiful. Now let's see where is the Navamsa Ascendant. The Navamsa Ascendant is that of Leo. How many signs is Leo away from her Cancer sign? Go back to the Lagna chart and see the Leo sign. Leo sign is the second house. What is the second Lord? Sun. Where is the second Lord placed? In the 11th house and in the sign of Taurus, ruled by Venus, and Venus is placed right in the Lagna. So double connection of the 11th house to her Lagna chart. Now because the Navamsa Ascendant is 2 houses of the second house from the Lagna chart in the D1 chart, let's see which sign rules her second house in the Navamsa chart. In the Navamsa chart, the second house is the house of Virgo, and voila, Mercury is exalted in that sign and placed with Rahu, and Mercury also rules her 11th house, and because Rahu denotes the make-believe, denotes the smoke screen, and hence she has been able to become a huge successful actress, because Rahu in a Lagna chart is placed in the 5th house and connects very strongly with the 11th ruler Mercury in an exaltation sign in the second house. Now let's look at Barack Obama's horoscope. This is Barack Obama's horoscope, and his Lagna is that of Capricorn, ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is Saturn is placed in the Lagna itself, and Saturn also rules Aquarius. However, what is the ascendant of the Navamsa chart? The ascendant of the Navamsa chart is Leo. How many signs away is Leo from Capricorn? Come back to the Lagna chart and see how many houses is the Leo sign placed away from his Lagna ascendant Capricorn. Leo sign is placed 8 houses away, but in the 8th house you have both Mars and Rahu. And which house does Mars rule? Mars rules the 11th house of Scorpio. So again strong connection with the 11th house and Rahu, and the Lagna Lord also ruling the sign of Aquarius. Now let's see the 8th house in the Navamsa chart. The 8th house in the Navamsa chart is ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is placed in its own sign, and in the Mool Trikona sign of Jupiter you have Sun and Mars and Venus placed. Sun is the Karaka of power. Sun is placed strong in the 5th house because it has Leo energies, and in the fiery sign of Sagittarius, and Sun aspects the 11th house. And where is the 11th Lord placed? 11th Lord is placed in an exaltation sign in the 2nd house and under the aspect of Rahu. And the 11th Lord Mercury and Jupiter are in mutual aspect with each other, guaranteeing him huge success in power and influence, which Sun represents political power, aspecting the 11th house, and 11th Lord in exaltation and in direct aspect with its 8th house ruler Jupiter, and Sun is placed in the 8th house ruler's Mool Trikona sign. Let's go into another horoscope. This is the horoscope of Donald Trump. Donald Trump's ascendant is that of Leo, and his Sun is placed strong in the 10th house itself along with Rahu, and the 11th Lord Mercury is placed in its own sign. Now what is his Lagna in the Navamsa horoscope? It is that of Gemini. Now how many houses away is Gemini from Leo? Go back to the Lagna chart, you will find that Gemini is 11 houses away, and Mercury is placed strong in its own sign in the 11th house. Now let's see the 11th house in its in his Navmansh horoscope. In his Navmansh horoscope, the 11th house is that of Aries, ruled by Mars, and Mars placed in the 12th house in the sign of Taurus, ruled by Venus, which is placed with Saturn, and his 11th lord Mars is placed in the 12th house but under the 9th aspect of Rahu, and Rahu is placed with Sun. And the sign in which they are placed, its depositor Mercury is in the Aquarius sign. And so Donald Trump enjoyed the huge success in politics as well as in business overseas because his 11th lord is in the 12th house. So he got both success in business and in real estate because his 11th lord is Mars, and Mars is the Karaka of real estate, and Mars is under the aspect of Rahu, which is placed with Sun, and hence he also enjoyed the huge success politically. Venus rules the 5th house of power and influence, and Mars, the 11th lord, is placed in the other sign ruled by Venus, and so Donald Trump enjoyed both business success as well as political success. Now I want to show you another horoscope. This is that of Jeffrey Bezos, the founder of Amazon. Jeffrey Bezos' horoscope Lagna is that of Pisces, ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is placed right in the Lagna, makes it very, very strong. His 11th house has exalted Mars and Saturn, again a very, very strong placement. Saturn also rules the Aquarius sign, so strong connection between Aquarius, the 11th house, exalted Mars, and Jupiter also aspecting the other sign of Mars. Now in the Navmansh chart, what is his ascendant? The ascendant is that of Scorpio. How many places is Scorpio sign away from his Lagna ascendant of Pisces? It is 9 houses away from Pisces. Now where is his 9th lord Mars placed? 9th lord Mars is placed in exaltation in the 11th house. So strong denotation. Now in his Navmansh chart, which is his 9th lord? His 9th house is ruled by Moon, and Moon is placed in exaltation in the 7th house and placed under the 9th aspect of Ketu, which is placed in the 11th house. Now because Jeffrey Bezos started his enterprise wanting to do something to bring about a social change for others, Ketu also bestowed power on him and huge money, because Rahu is placed in the 5th house of speculative investments in the sign ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter also is the natural ruler of the 9th sign, which is related to books, related to learning, and Jupiter is placed in the 2nd house in its own sign, which also denotes day-to-day products, household products, which Amazon also retails. Now last but not the least, I want to show you the horoscope of Mr. Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of India, one of the most powerful leaders in the world. Now Mr. Narendra Modi's horoscope is a little intriguing for a lot of people because Moon here is in a debilitation sign, though in a Nij Bhang. However, what is his 11th lord? His 11th lord is Mercury, placed in exaltation sign. So his 11th house is very, very strong, very powerful, and it directly aspects Rahu in the 5th house of power and influence. However, what is his Navmansh Lagna? His Navmansh Lagna is that of Cancer, ruled by Moon. So what is the distance of the Cancer sign from his Lagna sign of Scorpio? Moon rules the 9th house and placed directly in the Lagna, and that's why he has got the huge power and authority, because his Navmansh lord 9 places away from his Lagna has gone into directly in the Lagna and under the 9th aspect of Rahu. Now how many places is his 9th house away in his Navmansh chart? His 9th house is that of Pisces, and where is Pisces placed? Pisces lord placed? Pisces lord is placed in the 5th house, again a power and authority in the sign of Scorpio, and where is the Scorpio lord? Mars, again gone into the Lagna. So in a way, Mars going into the Lagna in Cancer sign in a debilitation sign, and the ruler of Cancer, Moon, going in the debilitation sign in the Lagna itself. Very, very strong exchange also seen here. And Rahu in the 5th house of power and influence in the Lagna chart and Jupiter in the 5th house of power and influence and aspecting the 11th house in the Lagna chart. And where is his 11th Lord placed? 11th Lord Rahu is placed with Rahu in the sign of Leo, ruled by Sun. So again, very strong power denotation, because his 10th Lord Mars is in the Lagna and the mutual aspect of Sun, and that's why huge power and influence. However, his Mercury, which rules the 11th houses in the Lagna chart, is retrograde. That's why he got power late in life, almost post his 50th year. However, he has not looked back after that. He has been continuously Chief Minister of Gujarat for 3 terms and now the Prime Minister of India for 2 terms, with the 2nd term running. So friend, that's how you see the connection between the Lagna Ascendant and the Navamsa Ascendant. You need to see how many places away is the Navamsa Ascendant from the Lagna Ascendant and see whether it is manifesting good luck and which direction it is pointing. The number of houses it is placed away, then that number of houses away will denote where it is pointing towards. If it's 5 houses away, it will give you power, influence. If it is 11 houses away, it will give you an opportunity for doing something big for society, working in large organization and doing something which may also bring about societal change. If it is 10 houses away, then very strong support for your career, for job. 6, 8 or 12 houses away, ups and downs will also be in your career, but 6 houses away means service, doing something for others and winning over competition. 8 houses away, getting into research, getting into those areas which are not easily available, or the virtual world, including online, including computers, including research, taxes, insurance, all these related to the 8th house. 12 houses away, doing well in foreign lands, doing well in armed forces, doing well in medical services, and anything where you have to sit alone or work alone is the denotation. So see how many houses away is your Navamsa Lagna from the D1 Lagna, where its Lord is placed, how much of a strong relation it is establishing with the 11th house, 11th Lord, Aquarius sign and Rahu, because that will give you the key to success and a greater promise connected to the number of places it is placed away, and that the number of houses it is placed away, its Lord placed in great houses and great Lagnas and great yogas. So friends, check your own horoscope, understand how far is your Navamsa Ascendant from your Lagna Ascendant, where its Lord is placed in the Navamsa horoscope, what relation it is establishing with the 11th house with Rahu, and based on that ascertain whether your Navamsa Ascendant is giving you greater promise, greater opportunities, greater assurance of success, and which direction, which career, which path, which vocation it is pointing towards, and use that to your greater advantage for a better and more prosperous and happy life, and also service in that direction. So friends, like this video, share this video, and if you are looking for a personal consultation from me, please reach out to me at the links given below. Until some other time with some other video, this is your friend, astrologer and guide Irfan, signing off. Ciao.